On our way. Get your shares. Here we come. On our way. All right. Here we come. All right, here we go. Hello, world. It's me, Jason Crow, the flamboyant one, Jason Crow, back for another episode of Heat Magnets. And, of course, joining me, as always, is Smooth Johnny Spade.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Quick shout out to Doug Williams, English legend. He hung his boots up. I've wrestled him many times. He's fantastic, and I'm sure most of you in this world know who he is. Good shout out to him.
There you go. And, of course, joining us is Rockstar Ronnie Jonah.
Yeah.
There she is. So we've got a lot to talk about. There's a lot of wrestling. We missed last week because we had some technical issues and a little bit worried about today, but we made it. We're here. Here we are, and we got to talk about Forbidden Door. I guess we'll just go right into Forbidden Door.
Right in there.
Forbidden Door was the big show this past week. Lots of good stuff. A lot of good matches. There's a lot of fun things happening. What'd you all think about the Forbidden Door?
Ronnie, I know it's your first time kind of getting experience in that. It's their second pay-per-view, I believe, for Forbidden Door, and they always put on, their matches are just incredible.
It was really exciting.
Lots of good stuff.
I mean, we're gonna dive into it, but the crowd was hot, and I really love what they did with on the main event with the final countdown. They only got it for one night. He says it's kind of a one-night thing. They can't get it licensed full time, but man, what an entrance!
It is a very expensive song to get. The AEW likes to do that. They like to get those songs.
Music is everything.
If you can get them, it's fantastic additions. I mean, I really like it when they're able to add songs that we all know and love to their characters.
Oh yeah, I enjoy it quite a bit. So did you all get to watch the pre-show? I know Athena and Billy Starks. So you have a little connection to Billy Starks, don't you?
Yeah, I don't really know Billy that well. I just know she's from Louisville.
Yeah.
She graduated at Atherton, and I'm from Louisville, of course, which is a big deal. She was she started her career being trained by Cheese, which is what do you go by? Raul LaMotta, who I've wrestled many times, who's a great guy. She's a kid. She's 18 years old. She graduated with like a 4 something, which is above A's. She got valedictorian. And the girls, she's a rising star, man. She's just young, and she's doing well. I don't know her personally, but I have been around her. I'm probably the old guy that she's met, and she's probably just getting used to saying hi to people, which is, we've all been there.
Yeah. I knew she was from Louisville. Of course, we're all like Kentucky people, Louisville people,
right?
So it was cool to see her. That's a big deal. That was a big pay-per-view.
It is, man.
She's from the kickoff show and fighting the champ Athena. So
Good
Ember
for her.
Moon
That
for
was
those of you
That
that
looked.
might not
I
watch.
got to see that, and I got to see the opening until my electricity got cut off. For those of you that live out this
Oh,
way,
yeah.
major storms,
Yeah,
and it was off
yeah.
for 2 days. So I didn't get to see all of everything, most of the highlights, but I got to see her. And man, Athena was stiff as hell. There was one point where she kicked her in her ribs.
Yeah.
And she couldn't go for a minute, and I thought they're breaking her in because that was
Yeah.
a rough shot,
That's-
man.
I
that's
felt like
fucked up.
that was pretty legit too. Like,
Did you see it? Did you noticed it?
yeah, oh yeah, definitely. It took a minute. Like I know she went to go grab her again, and then they had to kind of wait for a second. So, and that was kind of a recurring theme in some of the matches.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
It's a stiff show, especially when you mix with Japan. It's always going to be that way.
Oh my
They're
God,
strong
yeah.
style.
Oh yeah, yeah, and then with the pre-show, of course, Mogul Embassy won their match.
Yeah.
Athena won her match. I think El Phantasmo versus Stu Grayson, which Stu is back, so that
I
was
like that.
cool. Let's see. Then Los Ingobernables won their match, so that was pretty much the pre-show, and then
It's a lot of pre-show.
did MJF kick it off or no? Los Ingobernables kicked it off. Didn't they?
No, it was MJF. It was MJF.
Was it MJF?
He kicked off the regular show. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Against what was his?
Tanahashi.
Yeah. It was good. MJF. They put him in the ring with him for a reason. Tanahashi's a journeyman. He's been there for a while, and he was. They're not going to let their AEW champion go down to another federation, and
Hell
vice
no.
versa.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was AEW at the end of the night. They stood strong.
Yeah, a little too strong, I think.
Pay per view. I kind of thought that maybe a little too much myself, but
A little too much.
obviously MJF was going to go over. There was no.
Well, yeah, of course.
I bet they trade off every year. I bet year after year they kind of get more people from each fed to go over. I can't remember how it was all finished out last year, but I felt like it was a pretty good mix this year. It was a little AEW strong.
It was very heavy, yeah.
It was a fun show, and MJF obviously has been really entertaining. And then we'll get to Dynamite later, but there's a whole thing that he did in Dynamite that he didn't even wrestle, but man, he was fun.
Yeah.
Still the highlight of the night.
All I can say is poor Roderick Strong.
Yeah, man.
It was rough. Like,
Is he gonna get buried from one show to the next? From one fed to the
Let's
next?
talk about that for a second. Like, I know AEW Dynamite,
I'm still
but
laughing about that.
we witnessed the murder on Dynamite with MJF just be like, "Hey, generic white guy talking."
Yeah.
Like, we
Oh my
completely
God.
murdered him in front of
I
everyone.
passed away. That was fun.
I guarantee
was
if he gets in
funny.
the ring, it's gonna be pretty stiff. Roderick
Oh yeah,
he can hold
Rock
his
can
own
go in the ring. That's what I was
He
telling
can.
Ronnie, because Ronnie's not necessarily very.
Yeah, he's a
familiar
tough
with
son of a
Roderick
bitch, man.
Strong. That dude, his mic skill's not the strongest, but like you get him in the ring, that's the backbreaker for sure.
Oh my
But anyways, getting back to I couldn't not. immediately
For
talk
sure.
about that. It was such a good moment.
still
But back to
laughing about
Forbidden Door. MJF walks out with the win on that one against
Of course.
Tanahashi, which is no surprise to anybody, I don't think. Then after that match, it was Punk, right? Punk,
It was, yeah.
Punk
Oh,
and
yeah.
Kojima.
That's when mine got cut off. I saw the highlights, so I'll let you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
let you all go from there.
Pretty much the most talked about moment of that match is where Kojima accidentally elbows Punk in the junk.
Accidentally.
That was a spot, but that was pretty fun. That was a fun match. Like, I don't think it was destined to be anything too spectacular, but
It was fun though.
Punk went over, of course, and he's still very polarizing, so getting a lot of boos.
It was confusing from one match to the next where they were cheering his name, and then in the next match he walked out and they booed. And I watched everything in between and still can't follow that really.
Yeah, it's just going from Chicago to Canada.
Correct.
Oh,
What?
duh.
Yeah,
Okay,
he's
well, there it
his
is.
hometown. Yeah.
Of course,
Once
his people are gonna like him. Everybody else, not so
He,
much.
he's going to get treated like he's going to get the Cena factor. People are going to boo him now outside of Chicago with everything that's been going on.
Oh, perfect. I love that.
But he still gets a reaction, and it's a
Yeah,
loud
yeah.
one. And so regardless, he's entertaining, and people are loud and on their feet. And I'll tell you what, I saw the end and the highlights. He did not. You could tell me, guys, because y'all saw it better than I did. I don't think he wasn't as blown up as he was in that his first night out. He looked like he was moving pretty well, but at the end too. Am I right?
Yeah. I think he seemed to be doing okay. He didn't
Yeah.
nothing.
Nothing stood out like it did his first match back.
No. But I don't think it wasn't one of those types of matches either where he was doing a lot of like cardio type stuff. I mean, it was a lot of just laying things in. Of course, he's hitting the lariat Kojima, and that's a nod to a video prior. I don't know if y'all knew that, but I think it was Keith Lee. It's somebody. There was, I'll have to show you the video. That's when he was doing that in the corner. That was just a nod to that. But
and I'm sure a lot of people know what you're talking about that listen to us for sure.
Yeah, it was a fun match. It was fine. The elbow drop in the nuts, that was
perfect.
Probably deserved it, I'm sure. So
he probably liked it. I don't know.
Probably his receipt. So after that match, we had which they kind of gave away this match the show prior, which was what did this happen on Collision? Orange Cassidy, Daniel Garcia, Shibata, Zack Sabre Jr. Like, did that happen on Collision, or was it?
I don't know what happened because you all saw that show. I remember them having, or maybe it was a tag match to set up for that.
No, it was four. It was all four, unless it was a tag match and then it just went out crazy and it was all four. But they pretty much did the same match.
Man, I heard an interview with, if I could say, about Bryan Danielson, where a lot of people, they like to give Cassidy shit, and we've thought good about him because I think he's proved his own in the ring, and Danielson put him over huge. He goes, when I first got to AEW, I thought, who's this fucker? And I didn't think I was going to like him, and then he goes, over time, he goes, this guy wrestles week in and week out, and he's held that title. He's on a great run. He goes, and he's one of the best we got. Like, he really gave him props. And for Danielson to do that about you, that says a lot, man. And I really like Cassidy. So all the haters out there, fuck you, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, Cassidy was like kind of the first person on the AEW that I introduced Ronnie to, I think.
Yeah,
I think so too. Yeah, the first person I really attached to. Why do people hate him?
He started off gimmicky.
Yeah,
with his hands in the pockets. Yeah,
he moves so effortlessly, and people are jealous.
You still haven't really seen his gimmick of his like little kicks and his little punches, but putting his hands he does his hands in his pockets. But listen, if a dude can wrestle with his hands in his pockets, he's good. Like and do it as fluid
effortlessly.
As he does.
I mean, he's nipping up like that and doing float over.
Yes, the stuff he was doing today with his hands in his pockets, where he was jumping over people and they were crashing into each other, hilarious.
And I mean, I'm not tooting my own horn, but I was a hell of an athlete. I can't. There's no way I could. You know what I'm saying? And I did it for long enough that I know that I was a pretty athletic guy, and that's impressive. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Because you need your hands for balance for most stuff.
For sure.
And that entire ring of those guys, Cassidy, Garcia, Shibata, Zack Sabre Jr. Zack Sabre Jr. is probably pound for pound one of the best wrestlers in the world.
He is. He's technically so sound. Garcia needs to quit the hip thrust move he's been doing lately.
But he's that thing with Jericho.
Like, what the fuck?
It is a good thing.
He had the thing with Jericho.
I don't know if I like it or don't. You know what I mean?
But
I can't figure out if I like it.
It's him with is he a sports entertainer or is he a wrestler?
When he
does that, then he's like he's fighting the sports entertainment part.
Yeah, he'll do it this way, and then he'll do it this way.
Yeah, it's like his Incredible Hulk. It's like the Hulk that's inside him. He's a wrestler,
hilarious.
But sometimes he's entertaining.
I love it. That's perfect.
So it could work. It could work if they do it, but it was a good match. I wasn't very familiar with Shibata.
He's a hard hitter.
Oh man, I really like him. Like I really like what
Shibata's good, man. He's still in his prime. He's good.
Yeah. It was a good match. And that's what I was telling Ronnie today because we just caught up on Dynamite today, and the roster now, like the athletes coming up now. They're all talented, like a Will Ospreay, like a Rick.
Oh yeah,
Cassidy. Like
AEW is
the best. Full of those types of wrestlers that can do all that stuff, and that's the new generation of wrestlers. They're smaller guys.
Yeah, it's reminiscent of Nitro when they were bringing in, your Mysterios and your Benoits and your Guerreros for the first time, and they were the first hour of Nitro was full of cruiserweights who were doing that kind of shit.
Yeah, it's super exciting to watch that kind of talent.
It is.
AEW is full of it. WWE is also full of it, but they don't allow the wrestlers to
They
wrestle.
water that
It's
down
more,
over there.
yeah, it's more storyline based, and
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
And
it's matches.
when Ronnie and I were talking, we were talking, if you could wrestle like AEW, but have the storyline and like just cohesiveness of
Oh,
like
yeah.
a WWE, like
And the
that's
swearing of New Japan.
yeah,
Yeah.
and just kind of if you could combine all three and get all those to click together, which you can. I don't know why they don't.
Tony Khan's, what, like 4 or 5 years in, they're still a baby in this business as a company, and over time it'll only grow with
Yeah.
writers, and they're getting the talent
Yeah.
in, they're getting the wrestling in. In time, I think it'll just continue to
Because
progress.
AEW has it. They have it
They do.
all. If they can
I don't-
do that, and
People
that-
didn't think they'd last. I don't think they're going anywhere.
well, if they
No,
can
they're
run,
so good.
yeah, if they can run the machine like WWE runs the machine, and they've got great talent. So, once they get there, I think it's going to be great. And that match proved it. I mean, there's a lot of 4 great talented people in there that doing lots of fun stuff. So that was a fun match. Of course, Orange Cassidy walked away with the win on that. I don't know
Good for him.
I don't know when or if he's going to lose that title. To be honest with you,
Sure, he will one time, but it's got to mean something.
Yeah.
yeah. Who's going to
Right.
take it? Like at this point, who's going to take it from him?
Maybe if Pac comes back, because that's who he beat for it, I think.
Mm.
But
Pac,
I don't,
yeah. Pac is great.
Yes, he is fantastic. I really don't know. I mean,
I would love to see a returning Pac come in and do that because one, that match would be amazing. 2, I like Pac, and I wish he.
Yes, and they've got history. They've got history. He's got history with Orange Cassidy.
See that?
So
It's pretty good, man.
I wouldn't mind seeing that. And then after that match, we had a Jungle Jack Perry. I guess it just goes by Jack Perry now. Versus Sonata. And that was Sonata's the IWGP Heavyweight Championship champion, and that was on the line, of course. Sonata, probably of all the New Japan wrestlers that we watched, I feel like he was the most solid. He seemed like he was the youngest, I believe. Like most of the New Japan wrestlers that were on Forbidden Door all seemed like they were older guys.
Most of them are legends in that area, that country.
I didn't hate, but like Sonata definitely seemed like he had all the tools shoot, the dude I just mentioned before, Shibata. Is it Shibata? Is that Shibata, Sonata? Shibata is ROH though, right? He's not New Japan, so I think didn't he come over?
Oh, is he? He came. Yeah, I think he came over and he was working a little bit for him. I didn't know if he left full time for them or how, because they did do cross and
so I wasn't for sure if he was full time or not, but Sonata, he seemed like the most well-rounded wrestler to really fit in to what AEW is doing right now. So that was a fun match. Of course, the big part of that was obviously the heel turn.
The big turn.
The big turn with
I
Jack
like that.
Perry
this is
on
gonna
hook.
make her. It's gonna make or break him, man.
I think it's gonna make him.
I hope so, too.
I think it's gonna make him for sure.
We'll talk about that soon. That promo that he cut on Dynamite.
Yeah, because I guess we could just mix in some Dynamite with this Forbidden
We
Door.
might as well just mix it
well,
together.
let's
That was
talk
a
about
great
it then.
promo.
That promo that he cut, there's some things that people don't understand about that. He paid him an homage to an homage, whatever you want to say it. To his dad, and he
definitely caught
that was his dad's jacket from down on 2-0 he wore. He
Yeah.
also paid an homage to a line that was cut by Jason Priestley in the first episode, I believe, as well. And he said some pretty fucking harsh shit. I mean, he was, talking. Well, what he said, like I've got the hottest bitch in the company.
Ooh,
and I'm banging the hottest bitch.
Like a 90210.
I couldn't believe that's what he said.
I couldn't either, man. He was getting pretty deep, and it was. I was like, damn, okay. I think he learned that from Christian, because Christian likes to tweak that nerve, and I think he learned a bit from him to go ahead and cut a wound a little bit, open it up.
I think it's the best he's been on the mic. Because early on he struggled on the mic. He just seemed nervous more than anything because he has charisma. He's a good-looking guy. If he could kind of build that character a little bit, I think it's going to be good for him. I think it's a good
I do
opportunity
too.
for him to really start to shine.
I'm excited to see where this goes, and him
Yeah,
and
it's such a
Hook,
switch. I like
Hook's
it.
getting his first real angle. I think he said.
Yeah, and see, the one I don't think is going to make it is Hook. I don't think Hook's going to make it.
You don't think so? Did you know I've heard that WWE really wants him.
Really?
So, I
He
don't,
doesn't-
yeah,
He doesn't speak. He looks like a kid. I'm not saying he's not talented. Obviously, he's a very talented guy. But
What
like,
do they want him for?
they're-
he's a
I
D1
don't see-
athlete. He was.
I just don't see what
he's
they're building on.
Taz's son. I think they're just want to work on his character, and Taz and them think that's the best place for him. And I've heard the
Interesting.
WWE wants to bring him over to NXT and get him
Yeah.
him really owned in the entertainment industry. Taz
All right.
wants his son there too.
That makes sense.
To kind of learn better with where the entertainment part of it's all at. I think he can grow as a character there.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I mean,
Okay.
I think he might do better over in NXT because I think they could build him. I don't think the AEW has the tools to really build people with storyline.
I don't know, man. They did it with Dominic. I didn't think Dominic was that great at the beginning. He was very quiet.
Like WWE has the ability to.
Oh
do
yeah,
that.
they really
Yeah.
nailed that.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like he reminds me of him a little bit. And eventually he'll be able to, once he gets his time to shine, let's see what he can do. Like what Jack's
It
doing
makes
right now.
sense when you put it that way.
Yeah, well, because if you watch like when Hook came out, like they had, I think it was too much too fast because like obviously he came in with the undefeated streak,
Yeah.
almost doing
Right.
the Goldberg thing, but then they just floundered on it. They didn't know where to go with it, and he wasn't quite ready to just take the reins and
Yeah.
roll with it. If he could have been like, "This is what I'm gonna do. This is my character. Let's do this," and be able to speak on the mic and do it, maybe there was an opportunity there. But I just don't think he's there yet. I don't think he has that ability yet. But
He just needs to
Jack
learn.
Perry,
That's it.
Jack Perry, I think does. I think it's
Yeah, he's ready.
They're going to put him over. He's going to cheat to beat Hook, get the title,
for sure.
have Hook chase it, and hopefully this will work out for both of them.
Because will that technically be Hook's first loss? Because he hasn't lost singles match yet.
In singles, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So and for the FTW, so that'll be a good storyline for both of them, and maybe Hook will
another
surprise.
storyline. Yeah.
And that's his dad's title. That's an FTR title. That's not a legit AEW title. Taz brought that over in a group earlier. So it's he won that title to bring it back home to his family.
It's definitely going to be a good opportunity for both of them. We'll see where they go with it. I like both of them. I just hope it works out for both of them, and we'll see what happened. After that match, there was Team Elite versus Team BCC.
Right.
We didn't get to see that match. I'm not exactly sure how we missed it, but we missed it.
And Elite went down. I'm sorry.
it
BCC went down. That's pretty much what I know as well. So you all saw most of the pay-per-view. When I was the one that was going to watch the damn thing, I had to get reimbursed on it. But nature called. So
Team Elite won for sure. I know they're really what they're doing seems more than anything is building.
It was Ishii pinned Yuta.
Yuta, yeah. I feel like Yuta's might be on his way out. Maybe
he's just a fall guy. I mean, but he doesn't have personality that I did. But I was the fall guy for the Revolution. I took all the pins. I took the choke slams from Big Show. I took all the shit. The clotheslines from JBL. And I was the one that came in and bumped for them so that they could get over. So I think that's what he's doing right now as a group. Now, if they start splitting them up, hopefully, I don't know what they're going to do. Yuta's just got to learn to get more confidence on the mic and things like that. But right now, I think he's playing his role because you can't have the champ do it, which is Claudio from ROH, and you can't. Moxley's one of their top paid and top guys.
Yeah, he's too top. And
then there's Danielson.
Right. And really what they're building is the Mad King, and the Moxley kind of feud.
Saw that, right.
Which, Eddie Kingston, which...
And they're boys. And boys, I'm going to tell you right now, when you're boys, you go harder at each other in the ring. There's something about it. There's no ill will. You can punch and not hold it against each other. It's going to be a hell of a fight between the two of them.
Yeah, and I like Eddie Kingston. Ronnie's just getting introduced to him, but he does just kind of look like
He does look like he ran straight from the audience, like somebody's dad just lost his mind.
He can fight, Ronnie. He
looks like he can fight. He would kick your ass. He also looks like he came from the stands.
That's gonna be a good feud. And of course they just set up Blood and Guts with
I saw that.
with them. It looks like Dark Order might get a little involved in that, maybe. Because I was trying to tell Ronnie about John Silver and how good he
I
is.
like him, man.
Yeah, he's that dude's good too. Like that's the thing about all the talent in there. Even the guys that you don't really see very much, like a John Silver, those guys can go. Like Silver had a great match with Daniel Bryanson, or Brian, whatever. His name confuses me because sometimes they go WWE, sometimes they go AEW. But he had a good match with John Silver, and so that guy he can go. So
Daniel Bryanson.
Yeah,
he goes back and forth. Brian Danielson, Daniel Bryan. Wait, but and then you just get mixed up from the two.
But yeah, I'm really
Dan Bry, Dan.
Right. I'm really looking forward to just the sheer viciousness of Mox and Kingston that's going to happen. And Claudio's going to get involved because Claudio and Kingston had some real heat. Like it was
that was legit. Yeah.
So
he didn't feel like he was respected.
Yeah. Yeah, so that should be good. Then we had the Willow Nightingale versus Toni Storm for the championship.
I don't know how that went, but I know Toni Storm went over. I like Willow Nightingale though, man.
Yeah,
she's young. She's a young up and comer, and she's just got so much energy to me. She just makes you smile. As soon as she comes out, she's dancing and doing the thing down the ring, and the crowd really likes her. And I get it.
It was a fine match. It was good. There was nothing, nothing too spectacular in a pay-per-view that's so big.
Correct.
It's kind of hard to really shine but they put on a good match. It was
good,
entertaining enough to be remembered. So of course Toni Storm walked out, which I don't necessarily foresee her losing the title anytime soon.
No, probably not for a while, I'm sure.
And I don't know who would do it. But then after that was what a lot of people are calling the match of the century.
That's the only match I can think about of the whole show.
Yeah,
that might be one of the top matches of the year, man.
Oh boy.
Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay.
I saw highlights.
I felt bad for anyone going after them.
And that was for the IWGP United States Championship.
I saw the move where he dropped him on. It was a Tiger Driver, I think.
Tiger Driver.
Where he almost dropped him on his neck, or he did.
He
did.
Yeah.
But I wonder if that was planned, and they're just so good they could work it
probably
to where
that one.
Because that's hard to pull off without.
Yeah. Well, because
from a mistake on that.
Even Danielson was talking about it. He's like, is it worth it when you do that? Is it does that do anything? And now he didn't say it in a negative way because he knows he would have done the same damn thing.
Sure. That's what separates them from everybody else, though.
Yeah.
That's what puts them on the elite level.
But yeah.
Yeah, there was obviously it was a great match. Lots of crazy spots and just the pure energy and just
I know, right? That's people that knock Omega. That's so dumb. He legit. He never gets in there and has a bad match. You're always in awe.
What do they knock him for?
I guess there's just haters because he was. He chose AEW over WWE.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of it. Is
I think that's a solid choice for some people.
Yeah,
I mean he gets two paychecks. He gets the talent portion and he gets the back office portion. Plus, he was one of the main creators of the game that just came out, Fight Forever. So he made a lot of money. So kudos to him.
I think he's great talent. Obviously, it was a great match.
Sure.
You had a little bit of Don Callis interference, but that didn't. I don't think that took away from anything.
I saw that in the highlight. Yeah, it didn't take away too much.
Through Screwdriver in there, but just so many counters and just it was a great match, and that last one, that's third since it'll be the rubber match now. It's going to probably. If you think they went all out on this one, then that last one they're going to go all out.
They're going to have to.
I don't know what else they could do, but they're going to figure it out. And
they're gonna do it.
I'm assuming is that they didn't announce anything. I know Will Ospreay said, "I know a place," but they didn't say what it was. I'm assuming it's Wimbledon or.
Yeah,
I would think so.
Somewhere in his area.
Let them do that. Yeah, those guys go so hard after their matches. They need a couple weeks to break to just let their bodies heal.
Yeah. We need a break from watching it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and those dudes too. They put each other over in the social media afterwards. Both and that's when wrestling, if you kayfabe, it's you don't, I'll kick your ass again or whatever. But they're both like great talent. He deserved it. He's the better guy.
I heard they got a standing O in the back from the boys.
Oh, I'm
And
sure.
when I say boys, for some of you fans out there, I mean ladies and men. That's
Everyone,
that's what we call the locker room. It's the boys, whether it's the boys or the ladies.
Yeah, or all of the people back there.
Correct. It could be anybody. Production. It's cameramen.
Yeah,
it's who if everybody stands up, gives you a clap, that it's any part of that company. We call the people in the back the boys.
Right,
It's just a term.
It was.
I know it's a new world every now and then. You don't want to offend anybody, is what we're trying to not do here. Is what
Yeah, it was.
I mean, that's a good explanation. Yeah.
It was definitely worthy of a standing ovation. Those
Mhm.
guys and really all of it. Every match, you could tell everybody put their all into it. It
Yeah.
wasn't just that match. Obviously, that one stood out because it was
Yeah. You remember
poetry.
last week when I was telling you about myself and Jamin and how every time I worked him, it would take years off my life? Imagine we're not, and we were fucking good. But when you see them, that makes me go, that's the level I never got to. I mean, it's way worse. Like they're so much better. And I mean, as you know, Jason and Ronnie, we all know. I mean, I was a good talent. Jamin was an amazing talent.
Yeah.
And to see them, they're just on a level that's main
Yeah,
event around the world.
I mean,
Like,
they don't call them elite for nothing.
correct, man. I mean, they're incredible.
It was,
Yeah.
it was good stuff. And then after that match, which really
Couldn't tell you.
I wouldn't want to be anybody to go on after that.
No.
But you had Sting and
Bryan.
Darby Allin and Naito versus Jericho, Sammy, and Murder Grandpa Suzuki.
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah,
I like
that was
Nato.
nice.
I like that. Is it Nato or Nato? I don't know. Whatever.
Nato.
But I've
Oh,
always
yeah,
liked
yeah,
him. He's
yeah.
worked Jericho before. He's like an old country dude from
Yeah,
Japan.
they had a 5-star match. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that was fun.
But,
I'm pretty
I
sure
heard it was
Jericho
all
and
right.
Nato may have had a 5-star match. So that was, and that's
I've seen it. It was good. That was years
Yeah.
ago. A couple years back,
That-
a year ago.
they.
It might have been last Forbidden Door. Actually, it might have been last year.
Yeah, and Naito is definitely somebody that is. It's kind of the anti-hero of New Japan because he tried one way and then didn't get over and came back, and he's actually a lot of fun to watch. I don't think that match really did him any kind of justice, but he's definitely. I'd love to see more of him in AEW. But that was a fun match, and obviously Sting and Darby, they've been doing some cool stuff, and then they had that match on Dynamite
Oh my
after
god.
Forbidden Door, where
Sting.
Sting-
Oh God.
Like,
Sting is
smash
64
is
years
fucking
old, by the way.
And he's starting
And,
to do this. I don't know if he's trying to keep up or prove.
I
something.
think it's a retirement run.
He's got. Well, I don't mind him working, but he's got nothing to prove. We don't need to see you
Yeah, you don't
64 years old jumping.
No.
Like,
No, I don't think he's doing it for anybody but himself. I think he's
he's
need.
gotta
Yeah,
be.
of course.
He has nothing to prove.
Yeah, and he's 64. I think he might be on his last run, maybe. And of course
He's gotta be.
he'll decide that, but
But kudos to him. He's doing great for his age. And
Oh yeah,
I mean,
he busted his lip pretty good, or his chin.
I mean, it was too far out, and I was like, oh
He
God,
was
oh
so
God,
far away.
oh
like
God.
And the
It's
other
like
table didn't break.
He doesn't get up like he does in his Stinger Splash. He's not going to make this.
Oh man.
But
here's what's so weird is like that table. Darby broke the table when he was pulling it out. He broke the leg out from under it. But he set it up, and so technically it should have given way easily.
Yeah.
That second table
The
that
second
didn't
one?
fall
Mhm.
because
Okay.
Darby did break the leg, and maybe that has something to do with why it didn't fall. I
Oh
don't
my
know.
god.
He
Uh,
got up and finished though, and I was
Oh, yeah.
hoping. I was like, please get up, dude. You know,
Yeah.
I was
Well,
like,
after the match, apparently after the show, he did, say somebody his tooth feels a little loose and he's going to need some stitches, but he's
Oh
okay.
my god.
So,
all right, man. Let's watch it and enjoy it while we can. I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
Good for him.
I-
He's having
I'm
fun or something.
Looking forward to that run. I was actually shocked on Dynamite that he made Jericho tap out. That was I didn't.
Yeah, I
really
saw
see
that.
coming.
Yeah, that was wild.
Jericho's just doing the thing for him, man. You know, giving him.
He deserves it after that, I
because
guess.
they're both one of the greatest, top 20 of all time, and
Which is pretty crazy because like they also won their Forbidden Door match, and then they won the second time around. Which they might do the seesaw a little bit, I really kind of want to see more Suzuki too, like
Mhm.
Murder Grandpa. He doesn't do much in the ring, but he's
I
fun
want
to
to see more
watch.
of it.
He's like Ishii and Eddie Kingston, and he's just a hard hitting, tough son of a bitch.
Yeah, I love when they started chanting "Murder Grandpa" like that.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. He's getting props. I think he's enjoying it.
Yeah. Oh, you could tell he's enjoying it. Like you could really just see him like
Good for
so
him, dude.
proud, and it's.
I think 2
was a
years
fun
ago.
match, like- what's that?
I think about 2 years ago, there weren't a lot of people in the States who really knew him, unless you were a hardcore fan. And now people are enjoying him and chanting his name. I think he's digging this run, man.
Yeah, I think it's been a lot of fun, and to follow Osprey and Omega, and then pull off the match. That
It
was still
couldn't-
as far as the match was. They did a good job considering what they had to follow.
It had to be
Yeah.
them. You couldn't do another one-on-one match like that.
Yeah,
You had to break it up with something totally different.
And you
It
need
had to
time
be-
to breathe.
Yeah, but it had to be a total different entertainment look than the match previously to get away from that. Because if you had to go back-to-back one-on-one after that match, golly.
Well, and then that led into the main event, which was
Yeah.
Bryan Danielson versus Kazuchika Okada.
Right, so
Uh,
entrance-
we spent the whole
the
time
entrance
comparing
was-
it to the other one.
right.
Yeah. The entrance was everything to me. It was just
Yeah,
during the
entrance-
final countdown, and Danielson got emotional because he ain't heard that music in 20 years.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and Ronnie knows me with that song. Anytime that song plays in the car, like I'm gonna,
He just punches a hole in the roof. Like,
I'm gonna start jamming. But that was a fun moment. The entrances, and it was cool to see Okada. I did not expect what we got out of that match, in the sense of how it ended. That was kind of shocking to me, honestly, because that's
yeah,
top
that was
guy.
kind of awkward.
And just Okada tapping out at the end was very.
I did
didn't
not
see it
love
coming.
that.
I
didn't see
think
it
he's
coming.
going to give it back. There's got to be something for them to give it back in the future.
Well, he's not going to be able to for like about 8 weeks or so because I don't
That's
know if
plenty
you all
of
saw
time.
if you saw the X-ray for the break, but
Yeah, I
Oh,
heard about
yeah,
it.
God, could you stop that?
yeah, Bryan Danielson's arm was in half basically.
Fuck.
It was not pretty.
He's
He
just out
finished.
there. Yeah, he's out there doing an interview afterwards at the scrum, like it's it's a broken arm. Let's talk business. What's going on?
Oh my
I'm
Yeah.
like,
God.
Well, if you notice, like Okada, like to set up his his finisher, he had to constantly grab that broken arm and spin him, and he did it about 3 times
He was so
Don't-
delicate with him. I can
for the
tell. Though,
Rainmaker.
Was he? Good for him.
It was.
I've heard Okada. If he doesn't like you, I've seen him beat the shit out of people. But for the most part, I could see him and Danielson had to be nothing but respect. I could see him taking care of him. Yeah.
Yeah, which has to be there. There's so much respect for
Yeah.
Danielson that to tap out to somebody like that
For
in
sure.
such a big main event
Yeah.
for both companies. That's what I didn't expect. I could have seen a draw or some kind of anything, but I did not see a tap out coming because that's the company's 2 like top guys, and to make anybody seem a little weak, which we know it's not weak, but that's how it's perceived sometimes. To tap out was pretty major, I thought.
I think
I did
it'll be
not love
given
that,
back.
no.
Probably, it'll come back around. I think.
Yeah.
So-
Well,
I hope so.
I guess
wanna
now
see
they
that again.
now they have a story to tell with that broken arm, and like he
For
can
sure.
really utilize that in their next match. For
Yeah.
to really maybe get him to tap out now. So it was a fun match overall. Like it was not Osprey and Omega, but it was never going to be.
No, it was still really good though.
All on its own. And Okada's a guy that's had a lot of 5-star matches in his career. 5-star is that's a rating that Meltzer created, but it's pretty fun. Okada's been a part of a lot of those, and so is Danielson. So it was a good match overall. You could tell when Danielson was having, he's trying to lift that arm just to get that submission on, and
Yeah.
he willed it because he did not want to move. Just the sheer pain that he was in, I'm sure, sucked real bad. But
Yeah.
overall, it was fun. It was a good match. It was a good pay-per-view. It was lots of fun stuff. And that's the thing about AEW, be it Forbidden Door, Dynamite. Like the matches are always fun. Like you're always
All
going
of them are fun. Yeah.
It's two different kinds of brands that put out two kind of different products, but I don't ever knock either one because I love wrestling, period. I might have some things that I like in some, things that I don't like in some, but it goes both ways for each one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I just look for what I'm interested in and what's building, and and that's what you should do as a wrestling fan. I can't stand it when people are pro one and con the other. It's just
Nah, yeah.
love wrestling.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and, we live in a time where we get a lot of wrestling,
I know
Yeah,
we do
it's
right now.
Renaissance.
and that's fun. And I guess we could kind of finish up with Dynamite as well, because that was that was the show after Forbidden Door, and of course we talked about Sting, and so Moxley had a match with Ishii.
It's pretty
and
brutal.
They were beating each other up before. I'm pretty sure they have a 5-star match prior to this that Meltzer rated 5 stars. I've not seen it, but I might need to go back and check that out because I'm sure it's brutal. Moxley went over on that one, didn't he? No, yeah, Moxley went over
Moxley
on that.
went over on Dynamite, yeah.
Yeah, and but that set up the whole Elite versus. They really kind of start the between Kingston and himself,
right?
And that was a fun match. Like, I mean, really, it was just a bunch of chops and headbutts and forearms. But that's what you've come to expect with Moxley, and I'm sure Ishii,
especially Ishii, yeah.
And then after that, like finally, Keith Lee has dyed his hair and shaved his beard.
Oh, bless him!
Because
he gave it a try.
Yeah, it could have been fun for something else, but man, he just kind of looked like an old guy in the ring. He's kind of like whose grandpa was in there. No offense,
your dad.
If you didn't know him, and that's the first thing you saw, for sure.
You'd be a little confused. But that was a fun match. It's Garcia and
I see why people like him.
Daddy Magic.
Daddy Magic.
Matt Menard and Angelo Parker. I kind of like them. I enjoy them.
They're entertaining.
And that's the whole thing. That's Daniel Garcia is fighting as sports entertainer.
Yeah,
it was
a fun team. I liked all three of them.
Orange Cassidy, Keith Lee, and the Vikingo, which Ronnie got to see for the first time, and really you didn't get to see what he can do. That guy can
go. Oh yeah, they held him back in that match. That dude could do some stuff. He did.
And that's the thing about Keith Lee. I'm glad that maybe he's going to start pushing himself back into the Keith Lee that we know, which he's a guy that, for his size, he can go with these guys.
He can go with anybody.
Yeah, that guy he can put on some matches because he was my favorite in NXT. And then when he came over after, they just dropped the ball like they do on the main roster.
Yeah, which is crazy because his first Royal Rumble, Lesnar even put him over a little bit.
Yeah, and that was fun. And this match was fun, and
I like when he picked up a dude and threw him at another dude.
Yeah, when he
flung him over his head onto the ropes.
It was a good match all in all. It was
man, that was fun.
Good to see them on TV. So, and then you had the Elite versus Dark Order, which was really to set up the BCC and Elite and all that.
Yeah, it was. And then they had the little small storyline within the match.
Yeah, with the Hangman and all that, which was good. And I do believe that might get
added an element to it. Yeah,
it might give the Dark Order a little bit of TV time, and maybe they get involved in that particular match, which could be good. Because I really liked when Dark Order first came into play in early AEW. Like I liked like what they were doing and like the TV spots of the commercials that they were doing. It was like that
was good stuff. It got slowed down with that unexpected passing away, and
they definitely lost a lot of momentum. I think
understandably
back, but I love John Silver. He's a great talent.
I do too. He is good talent.
I'm looking forward to more TV time for them. But that was all about the Elite BCC, really, which is going to be a fun blood and guts match.
Can't wait.
We'll see where they go from here. Then we had the Jack Perry promo after that, which we talked about, which
good promo.
Hook chasing.
Was that because obviously Blind Josh, could he not? Was that his Anna Jay?
What's that?
Is that Anna Jay in the truck when he dove in there with opened the door for him? Remember when he was running from him and he
Yeah.
and he dove in the car and he goes go 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 and he flew in the car in the back
Oh, I
seat.
didn't see.
Somebody opened the door from the inside and I was like, I thought it was Anna Jay, so
Oh, really?
they might be putting him and his girl together.
Oh, maybe.
Which, as a
didn't
heel,
see
I
that.
think that would be good.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. And then after that, we had the Ruby Soho, who was supposed to fight Britt Baker, but from Owen Hart.
Ruby, God
Yeah.
love her, Dory. So that promo was vicious too, and
Yeah.
that I know her, so I was like, what in the? I've never heard her speak like that in my life.
Yeah, that was
She talked about their kids if they were gonna have kids.
She
and all-
did.
I was like, what in the shit?
that was
yeah.
definitely a
I didn't know you
promo
had
that
that in you.
yeah, that was a promo that
Also,
Ruby has
how
never
dare
really
you.
done before. So it was good. That's what she needs. She needs that. She needs to break away.
Yeah, man, it was. You know what? I was watching it in awe because it was her, and I'm like, "Where's this coming from?" I didn't know it was in her, and then afterwards, and I was like, "If you watch that, you go, that was fucking good."
Yeah,
She
it was
tore
good.
into them.
It was good and
I
mean.
think
It's
the
not a
commentators even put it over.
yeah, it's not
They're
a
like,
Ruby
whoa.
we've seen before, so that's good.
I
Britt
think
was
she's trying to stand out because you've got Soraya, and then you've got the champ, and she's the one who probably is getting less press and less notoriety right now.
Yeah.
And she had her moment, and she said, "Fuck it, I'm taking this."
Good.
I kinda-
Yeah, it was
Alright.
exciting. I'm ready
I
for
kind
the
of feel
match.
like she's going to go over on.
I'm ready for her to get
Britt,
her ass kicked.
Britt.
Who's
when
she?
Britt
Oh,
comes back.
Britt. I don't know what you think she's gonna go over on Britt. Britt went
No.
over. I know when they first got in there,
No.
the first time. But
Yeah, I think Ruby's going to go over on her on this one.
if it'll be a surprise if she does, but we'll see.
Yeah, because Britt was out sick with the flu, just because Adam Cole had it for Forbidden
Yeah,
Door.
they must have got something over there. They, I guess, eaten or done. Maybe the air quality out there right now. I don't know, but they were both ill.
Pretty bad.
That was good
She
stuff.
said,
And then we had
she said, when you get your head out of the toilet, I want you to look at me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good shit.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
impressed, man.
after that,
Can't
it
wait
was
for her to get her ass kicked.
Sting and Darby and Sammy Guevara and the Painmaker, Chris Jericho.
Painmaker.
That was the next match, which we talked about, and Sting just doing crazy Sting stuff. The match itself wasn't like the greatest match in the world. There was a lot of fun spots, but nothing that necessarily was too crazy. That was the main event, and it was fun. It was a fun show, and
It was a good show. They had a better show the week before. I think a lot of people were on the down from the big pay-per-view and stuff like that. But yeah, it was all right. It was good.
yeah. So that was that. That was the AEW last week, I guess, and then we had Collision, but there's really nothing to talk about. That was before. That was just setting up, basically, the whole Forbidden Door anyway, so there wasn't too much to talk about there.
Sure.
And then, of course, you had your SmackDown, kind of getting the bloodline back, that storyline rolling some more. What kicked it off? It was the Usos came out, right? And
Did they talk? Promo? Got a promo?
Yeah, did a little talking and talking about how they still love Roman Reigns, but Paul Heyman is the problem.
Yeah.
He's on the outside of the house. When you're family, you're on the inside of the house.
Right.
So and that storyline, it's been fun. It's they're keeping it fun. They're keeping it interesting.
Still going.
Usos even said, look, it's Solo and Roman, but we're the Usos. We're the greatest tag team in the world, which arguably they probably are.
Really?
They're up there.
And I'd dare to say they're in the top 5 best tag teams of all time.
I would say that too. Yeah.
Personally, but
they're in that vicinity, I believe, as well.
They definitely
then-
in that universe.
And on this particular episode of SmackDown, so Vince McMahon got highly involved in this one, apparently.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, because they were supposed to be, because they had already previously said, Shotzi versus Bayley for Bayley's Money in the Bank case.
Oh,
That
right. Yeah.
was going to be a match. Cameron Grimes and versus Baron Corbin. I think we're supposed to be in a match as well. And Santos Escobar, Butch, and LA Knight were supposed to be in a match. And Vince changed all those and instead put in Charlotte Flair versus Lacey Evans, Street Profits versus Pretty Deadly and Rey Mysterio versus LA Knight.
Which
So,
I loved all of that, but like,
yeah. So
what
it
about
wasn't.
the whole challenge.
He's
that,
he's been really bailing on Bailey a lot. I've noticed.
Yeah.
what's? I mean, now she doesn't have to put up her spot on the line, I guess. But like,
Right, but
what that then?
there was a story to tell there, and she was getting some time, and but it wasn't necessarily a bad show. Like the
I
Raw
like
after
those,
WrestleMania
but-
when Vince got involved obviously was bad, but this
I
time
mean, yeah,
around,
they put LA Knight over, and I was worried that Vince was gonna, if he ever got the opportunity, would bury LA Knight because that
I
wasn't one
was
of his
worried about the
boys.
same thing.
But he put him over, so good.
yeah, he got a
Did you see Rey Mysterio? Okay, if you ever go back and watch, I think it might have been the cover after he did the tackle over the ropes onto Ray, and then he goes to cover him. I don't know what LA did or if it was the lackluster cover, but when Ray went to kick out, and I've had this happen, Ray went to kick out and forearmed him right in the mouth, and I was like, wonder what that receipt was from, because I went back and slow motioned it to make sure that it was a.
I know
when
LA came out, he got a good pop.
He did.
I don't know. It wasn't the loudest pop of the night because actually that went to Sheamus. I thought. I thought Sheamus got the loudest pop that night, but LA, it was good. Came out, people doing all the things he needs them to do, saying his name, saying yeah. So and he got the win over Ray. So that's it. It looks good for him. I don't know if he is gonna win Money in the Bank. It's still up in the air. I think it's going to be
Logan Paul, but that would be awesome.
It's him or Logan Paul.
Him, Logan. I mean, Priest has an opportunity, but I would say those are the top three guys.
Yeah.
That match, him and Ray, wasn't necessarily a great match. There was some fumbling here and there, but all in all, it was good.
Just a few.
It was good to see LA Knight get up the win. Yeah. And then we had the unified women's tag team championships with, of course, Rousey and Baszler versus Fire and Dawn.
I like Fire and Dawn. I wanted them to win.
They're definitely.
That's because Dawn looks like you. She's a hot little redhead with a big booty.
Oh, is that why? She is really hot.
She's
also really good. They're also really good.
For those of you out there who think it's weird, I'm cool with Ronnie, so we're just joking.
They're not just really hot. They were also really good.
Work.
And they're a tag team. They look like a tag team.
They are.
They have some good moves. They put it together well. I'm a huge fan of Rousey, and everyone hates her. So I don't know why. I know I'm in the minority. But I dig her star quality.
I like her in this tag team. Like I do like the two of them as a tag team. They are kind of like
they make
sense. I've never liked either of them, but together I really like them as a tag team.
I didn't think they could. I don't think they should have gone over yet. That's their second or third match. And what they're doing is they're dropping the NXT belts so that they can become a pure part of the roster now and get rid of that NXT moniker in their name.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right. Well, because there's so many women that are across the brands, being able to make them tag teams and get them some TV time everywhere, because those tag team belts are going to go across to all the brands. So
I think they're probably going to cost Ronda and Shayna to lose maybe on NXT or something to whoever's they're going to give the belts to, so they can carry on with NXT with those belts.
Yeah, I think NXT is definitely going to get a moment like that where a big title is going to change hands, because they're starting to do that a little bit more with that crossover, which I think is good because you get that young talent gets the rub like Carmelo Hayes got.
Sure, absolutely
on Raw, which is good. It's good for the talent, and I hope it works out. Of course, Rousey and Baszler walked away with the win on this one, which I don't think surprised anybody. I would have liked Fire and Dawn to kind of win. I thought it would have been a good little swerve, but maybe that's going to go to Caden Cross and Carter.
I do like them.
So
I like them. I like Fire and Dawn too. They brought those tag teams up and kept them together for a reason, and both of them you can't go wrong.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Of course, Liv came back with Raquel as well, and somehow backed down Baszler and
how did that? She's like 5 feet and she rolls up in heels, and the two like biggest jacked badass women just
What-
got out of the ring.
Wasn't it
what was
weird
that
too?
about?
Wasn't it weird like when she stood in front of Baszler and
Oh,
was somehow taller than
not with
Baszler, and you
Morgan.
were like, like she ended up being taller than Baszler because of the heels she was wearing, and it was just confusing because you're like, wait a minute, that's not
Push her
right.
over.
And you're
Like,
right.
what do you-
Liv is very over, I guess, because she's beautiful.
Oh, I
and stuff
love
like that.
her.
But they're all beautiful. But like you said, Isla and like Dawn, they're better tag team than they are by far. Than them
Yeah.
Oh,
together,
for sure.
Raquel and
For
Liz.
sure, for sure.
I love her, but like, why did they run away from her? She's like,
Right. She's so well, and so Liv absolutely is somebody that you've watched over the years that has gotten better
oh yeah.
every time that she's gotten into the ring. And I always did like her, but when she was part of the group
I love
with her and Ruby and Valhalla, I forget
Sarah.
what her was.
That's her real name, Sarah. I
Yeah,
don't know what
yeah,
it
because
is.
she was in the zombie movie, our original zombie movie.
Oh,
With us.
yeah.
But when Liv was kind of I guess the lower of the characters then, but built herself all the way up, became a much better wrestler. So I love that she's getting opportunities. Obviously, she was the champ for a while, and it was deserved because she worked her ass off for it. But seeing her back down like Ronda Rousey,
That did not make sense.
just weird.
Like, I love her way more than those two. Like, I ever will. But why? I don't understand why they ran away from her. That doesn't make any sense.
And they've got objects in their hands.
Yeah,
They
and
got the
they're both
titles
wearing
to
like
knock you out
6-foot heels. Like what? Like
I do enjoy that they're really doing more tag team stuff with people that look more like
Oh,
a
yeah,
tag
I love
team.
that.
I agree with that 100%.
Like Pretty Deadly, who
I love them.
after
Even in the women's division, after what happened with Sasha Banks and when they got let go because they weren't getting the push they deserved with those titles and making them relevant, they're really doing a lot with that. Titles on both, like you said, the men's and women's.
Yeah.
They're giving them, they're meaning something.
Yeah, we've needed some good tag teams in a long time, and that Pretty Deadly. They right after the Mysterio match, I believe that they were next up with the Grayson Waller effect, and they're fun, they're entertaining, and the Street Profits came out. They had a match, and Pretty Deadly still went over on the Profits. So
Good. The Pretty Deadly's on a roll right now.
Yeah,
starting out.
But are they winning too much? Are they going to win the tag team titles? Or
I don't think they're going to win them because that's what they're doing is they're getting them relevant for that match to build it up. So that I don't think they're going to go over because I've heard that there may be something going on in the future with those belts and Kevin and Sammy. So to me, it looks like they're going to keep them.
Yeah, and
we don't. That could always subject to change.
Right,
We don't
of course.
know.
For sure. And then after that, you had Charlotte Flair and Lacey Evans.
I like that.
And that was fun. That wasn't supposed to be on the card that night, I don't think, but we got it.
Okay, so I liked that match, but I don't understand. Like, so they made a whole to do about Shotzi and Bailey, and then is that just dropped? We never see that again.
I guess so. Yeah.
Never heard of you guys again.
Unless
that's good for Bailey because Bailey doesn't lose her spot. But
so what was the deal? So what if Shotzi comes in and beats her, that she gets to take her spot?
Yeah, she takes her spot. That was the gimmick.
Yeah, and they had promoted
Shotzi,
it.
I guess
they promoted it the show before, and then Vince came in and was like, nah.
Yeah, right. Because Bailey's cutting promos about how she's gonna win it, and then she's like, and either me or EO, because there's a story there too. So it would make sense to build that story and then not even have her in the match.
Right, and then Vince came in and was like, "You son of a bitch, Triple H, we're not having that match."
Which I like. Obviously, the match we did see was just was confusing. Like, so that whole bit was just fucked off.
Yeah, it was that's
unless they do it this Friday. There's one go home show before.
Yeah, there's
Money in the Bank. Is Money in the Bank Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday. So Money in the Bank is Saturday at 3 p.m.
3 p.m. EST.
It's going to be in London. So
that's okay. Got it.
So, but and they might do it Friday. Like Triple H does try to get back on the road where Vince kind of veers him off. But all in all, like these changes weren't necessarily bad. Like
No,
it didn't
was
result in a
confusing.
bad show, but it did result in a confusing. What about the storyline kind of thing?
Mhm.
Of course, Flair she beat Lacey Evans, Lacey doesn't have much going for her right at the moment, but maybe that'll change.
I hope that changes. I like her.
And then of course you had Solo Sikoa, who spiked Ridge, so Sheamus got mad. You meet me in the ring, fella. And
I was surprised at how that ended, actually.
Yeah, it was so like Sheamus is too popular. That's why it was a no contest. Because he came out.
He is. Yeah.
He got the biggest pop. I think over the Usos. I think over LA Knight. And they've been doing that. Sheamus has been getting that. And I guarantee you in London, he might get the biggest pop in London because they love him over there.
I would think, yeah.
So like I don't know. He's so popular, he might just get a run.
I hope so.
Well, he's been having kind of a run. I mean, some of the matches he's been having. I mean, I know he hasn't been winning, but he's been still one of the main ones on the card.
Oh, he's definitely
he's a lot of TV time.
Yeah,
Sheamus is legit, man.
Oh, for sure. And
future Hall of Famer, man.
Oh yeah,
100%. Like he was one of the guys. Like I appreciated him, but I wasn't necessarily a fan. But then when he and Claudio had their first match, which Mick Foley put together, which ended up being like a best out of 7, which they never got to the final match. It never happened. But that first match that they put together, which I thought, oh, God, that's not going to be good, was amazing. I thought it was a great match. And then they had great matches after that. And I really became a Sheamus fan then. And he's just – and to see him – shine now when he's got all this younger talent that's coming in, but people are still like, we still like Sheamus.
I concur. I concur 100%.
The crowd is, they're not going to let that go. So we might see something special happen out of that. You never know. But it was fun. I think SmackDown was a fun show. They've all been solid shows, I think.
Yeah.
And I'd like to say that has a lot to do with Triple H, but with Vince getting involved and it still being entertaining, I really would like for Triple H to be able to tell the story he wants to tell and really
without any interference.
Just so, because I know NXT, when he and Shawn Michaels were doing NXT, that was my favorite time of NXT.
And that's when it was at its best by far.
It was the best brand, period. Like, it was better than AEW, it was better than Raw, it was better than any of them. And it had the best talent. It had Adam Cole, it had all these great people that were being led by Triple H and Shawn Michaels. And apparently it had a lot more to do with Shawn than Triple H. But Triple H had a big hand in it at the time, and then they could just let them do that on the main roster. I would at least like to see if it's as good as I think it is. That way we can either say, yes, we want Triple H, or Vince, it's okay that you put your hand in. But I'd like to be able to know for sure.
And I mean, he was turning it up when he left, and he got in trouble for a little while. I mean, when Triple H took over full blown, he was pulling out some ratings and bangers.
Yeah, as soon as that happened,
it was like immediate impact.
It was like that next, because we were getting matches that we thought you wouldn't see until like pay-per-views, two talents in the ring together, and I enjoyed that because we want to see that.
Absolutely.
Maybe we'll get it. Well, I don't know, but and then we had Monday Night Raw. I think I put an old Monday Night Raw recap in there. But it was
Night Ripley.
Yeah, it was a lot of Rhea, a lot of Dom. Setting up the Cody stuff, and I think that's going to be fun. I
agree. I'm looking forward to it.
I know Ronnie's enjoyed the Rhea and Dom.
I have too. I don't blame you. Yeah,
it's I can't really. I'm gonna try to find because I put in the wrong stuff that happened on Raw that night. But if y'all want to talk amongst yourselves,
it was a lot of the same as far as like Cody being like being like, "Are you man enough?" and Rhea being like, "He's man enough."
Yeah, I like the Rhea where she's. It's almost like the reverse Elizabeth effect. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Yeah.
and then
With the Macho Man, and it's
and then
fantastic.
I love it. And then Cody was like, "Well, why don't you get in the ring with me right now?" And then Dom like almost did, and then he was like, "No, fuck you."
Yeah, it has been a lot of the.
Oh, and then sorry, my favorite was when they were back, like Rhea and Dom were back at the back in the top, way back, about ready to fuck off out of there, and then Cody said something about like, "Yeah, just go and be mommy's little boy," and he goes to her and mouths, "I am mommy's little boy."
That's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah,
He was like, "Yeah."
yeah.
I
That
just
was,
love that. I love their dynamic, what they're doing,
well,
and the way Dom he has enough. Uh, I don't know, confidence in himself to pull this off, and
Yeah.
because I love it. I
Yeah,
would do a
yeah,
gimmick like
yeah.
that in a heartbeat.
yeah.
Oh
So
my
it
God,
really is.
who
It
wouldn't?
really is kind of the reverse China Eddie Guerrero
Yes,
thing,
it's
where like
it's so
you know,
good, and it makes sense in this.
it's very similar in a lot of ways, except like Rhea's really getting the most opportunity in it, whereas
Yeah.
China maybe didn't as much at the time.
She was
Uh,
underappreciated.
Yeah,
And I
it's
think she's healing right now, so she's getting a lot of TV time without having to get in the ring at the moment. And
yeah.
she's all,
Did Rhea get hurt?
Wait, what? What's wrong with her?
Was there
no,
just
no, it's her knee was just a little tweaked from her last match. It's nothing bad. So they're just
From
letting
beating
her
the shit out of
with her.
Natalia?
Yeah, with her having the belt. Yeah, she did work Natalia the week before. I think that was the first time she worked since the pay per view. Yeah, but am I right? Or am I wrong?
I think that's right.
Yeah,
I feel like
they were
she's
just
only
letting
ever
her.
beaten up Natalia since then.
Yeah, so they were letting her heal a little bit. It's not like she was injured, but they were just like, well, because we don't need her getting hurt. So they just been letting her get a lot of TV time, work when needed, and it also makes the belt, like MJF and Roman, look more prestigious. She doesn't need to work. She's a premium main eventer. Put her
Yes.
in when it makes money.
Yeah, and they've been doing a good job with the belts. Like they've been doing a good job making the belts matter a little bit more, especially
right.
with Seth's belt, which didn't exist, and I think they're really starting to make that matter as well. So
Yeah.
I think Rhea's been doing the same thing, really doing something that's been interesting to look at. Really building up the Money in the Bank stuff. It's been kind of fun because after that we had the Shinsuke Ricochet match, and Ricochet went over clean. I think there was some Bronson Reed interference here and there. Ricochet picked up the win, which I think everybody's got a win now that's in Money in the Bank, leading up to it. So everybody's looking strong going in. So it's fun. Like I said, I introduced Ronnie to the Ospreay Ricochet match. So knowing what Ricochet can do, and where knowing that he's not allowed to really do it, but knowing that a ladder match is coming up at Money in the Bank.
Oh yeah.
To get his stuff in, as they say.
I hope he gets to get all of his shit in.
Yeah.
They really water him down compared to that.
And then Bronson Reed, I believe he is in the match.
Well, that's fine.
We were asking about that last week. Yeah, I'm not a fan either, man.
The Bronson Reed, you guys aren't a fan?
There too.
I'm not a big fan of him. I don't know, man.
I mean, not compared to everybody else in that match.
It's not his. I know it's not his size or anything or the way he looks. He's not as entertaining to me. There's something about him.
He was a lot more fun in NXT. There was
I
a lot.
remember him there, but I know I wasn't a big fan there either. But like I said, everybody's got their own opinion, and he was over for a reason. They put the belt on him, so.
Yeah, he was fun in NXT, but it's been kind of lackluster with the main roster, I guess. But it's pretty much how it's been going for them, even with Triple H in hand, because Triple H is he's doing triage, trying to get these guys back and get them back to where they were when they came over from NXT, and you're just not going to be able to do it. Like it's already been kind of ruined and buried, so you're not going to get Karrion Kross and Bronson Reed popular like they were, when they would have come over from NXT.
And I think he's the big guy they chose. In them ladder matches, you can't put a bunch of big dudes. You can put one or two, one mostly, usually.
Yeah.
Squeezes in there.
Yeah,
a big fella.
He's definitely going to make his presence known in the Money in the Bank. He's not involved in the match in the sense of he has an opportunity to win the briefcase, but he's going to get involved.
Sure, he'll have his spots and moments.
Yeah, and then of course after that was the Liv Morgan return and all that, and which we just talked about. So that was fine. And then we had a little bit more of a Cody come in. I think there was wasn't there, because they were doing this weird thing, like somebody would make their entrance and then they'd cut to an interview and then they'd cut to something else.
I noticed that too.
And then the next person would make their entrance. It was very kind of strange.
They hadn't been in the ring a while.
Yeah, there was some stuff. Because I think before Cody, there was Tommaso was coming out for his match.
Oh yeah,
and then Miz.
And then the Miz.
Man, I get worried watching Tommaso too, like taking those hard hits on like the barricades, and, with that hip surgery and stuff. Like I know he's better, but man, it's scary to watch. And I want this guy to be able to do his thing, and I don't want him to get hurt. I get scared every time he gets thrown around. But that was fun, like watch Miz beating him down and kind of getting his receipt for Tommaso jumping, beating him the show before. So that was that. I think that's going to be a little fun add in. We could get some good stuff out of that.
I agree.
And we're getting a little bit out of Miz that we haven't been able to see lately. So he's a little bit more aggression.
That's exciting. Yeah.
A little bit less of I'm the same shtick that he's been running. So
I'm a goofy guy. I'm gonna get punched in the face.
Yeah, I think he's got an opportunity to really shine too. And like we've always said, he's one promo away from being back in the main event. Really.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, Cody came out, and didn't Tozawa wrestle?
Say it again.
Tozawa, didn't he wrestle? Yeah.
Did he wrestle? I thought he was doing a gimmick, and again, I had to fast forward, and I had some issues with my electricity. But I thought he was doing something where he was going to wrestle, or he was going to be Cody's partner, and then they.
Yeah, that was the show before. But no, Tozawa wrestled Dom Dom.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was fast forwarding when I got to it. I was like, "Holy, is this like Cody Rhodes and Dom Dom?" And because they have Tozawa has the same hair when you're fast forwarding. Yeah. Then I paused it. I was like, "That's Tozawa," and it makes sense because Tozawa and Rhea.
They like Tozawa.
Oh yeah, he's
been around for
good.
A while now, man.
He's fun to watch, and he has that history with Rhea where she beat him in a match, which was the first man on woman match WWE had in years.
When was that?
It was the only one. You weren't really watching it at that time.
Yeah, I missed that.
But yeah,
a couple years ago, I think.
She beat him clean, and so you saw like Tozawa be afraid of her a little bit.
I love that.
That's what cost him the match because he was having a good match against Dom, and they put him over pretty good, and he was never going to win it, but they made him look good, and it was good to see Tozawa get some TV time. So
he's well liked in the back.
Yeah, he seems like, and he's always been a good talent, but obviously Dom pulled out the win. Mostly thanks to Tozawa being afraid of Rhea, which I imagine most people are at this point.
Yeah.
And then you had Gunther versus Sami Zayn.
Always enjoyable.
And I mean, it's not gonna be a bad match with either one of them.
No. And of course, they set all that up with the Matt Riddle and and stopping his ankle before, because obviously Riddle and Gunther are going to have the match at the Money in the Bank. I don't see anybody derailing Gunther.
No. But God, I could watch like a combination of any of those like 6 guys like every week for a while.
Oh yeah,
I don't think they're going anywhere, so you're probably gonna get your wish.
Kevin Owens, when Sammy was talking about, we have some business within, and Kevin's like, we do.
Right.
For what they did with Matt Riddle. He's like, we don't like that. And Kevin was like, I don't care what he did to Matt Riddle. And he's like, yeah, we care. He's like, oh, I do care.
Oh, yeah, I care.
I care. I'm really mad about this.
That's so funny. That's ridiculous.
He's been on fire with that stuff.
Hilarious.
Right, so I don't care about Matt Riddle.
That's why I want to not lose.
Yeah. So it's I don't see anybody beating Gunther unless it is
a tag team thing or a 6-man tag thing. But
One
obviously, Sammy didn't win this match with Gunther. Matt Riddle's not
We'll
going
have
to
to
win
do it
this match
again.
with Gunther. There is a talk about Randy Orton coming back at
Oh my
possibly
God.
Has he
Money in the Bank.
gotten cleared? I've heard rumors.
That's the rumor. Well, I guess we'll see for sure. But
I hope they get back together.
yeah, that is a thing that they're talking about. So
With his
we'll
back
see.
being the way it is, there's not too many RKO's he can give anymore.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
we'll see how that plays out. I hope he's fine, but I mean that
Yeah,
move is a consistent fall to your back. Just
right.
it's
Well,
just,
Yeah.
we'll see if he comes into play with the Matt Riddle match. I
Yeah.
don't see them costing Gunther the match, but stranger things have happened. Then we had the Finn Balor versus Carmelo Hayes because Seth put Carmelo over, who just happened to be there because he had his back, at NXT when Seth was at NXT. And that was a good way to bring Carmelo into the main audience who might
everything was done right. Yeah.
the people that don't watch NXT. It was a good way to introduce him. Put on a great match.
Yep.
Like he does his fadeaway, like leg drop off the turnbuckle, and his fadeaway, like didn't he do a fadeaway stunner as well? Like
Yeah, he does. He likes to jump off that second from in the middle of the rope and do a lot of jumping around, but he brings it into maneuvers versus just an impact. He's very good.
He looked good. He looked good. I actually thought Corbin was going to cost him the match to kind of keep him still looking kind of strong and
Makes
not
sense. Yeah.
to Finn. But losing cleanly to Finn is not a bad
No,
thing.
there's nothing wrong
No,
with that. And
especially not now.
they're trying to keep Finn strong for this to
Yeah.
build up that match.
And I think that's what it was
man.
more about, making Finn look that much stronger going
His
in.
promos right now are so good. I would love to watch him beat Seth, but he won't probably.
I'm not sure. Like that
I
was
don't know. It just seems too soon. Like Seth's too hot, but like
I agree
his
with you.
promos are
on
so
that.
good. I would love to watch him
It
win.
does seem soon, but at the same time, it's like, man, because that's a story. Like there's such a story ingrained.
I
In
know.
that
That's why I'm
I'm
like,
going to
is
be
this too
rooting for
soon?
Finn. I'm rooting for Finn in this match.
Are you?
I want.
I mean, I am. I don't
yeah.
think he's going to win, but I'm rooting for Finn. And if I start getting something in my own, going, are they going to give it to Finn? I could see me really getting into this match more and more.
I just
Yeah.
wish they would have waited until it was time to like let him win to do this story because he should really win.
Yeah. Well, it could be Judgment Day's night at the.
What if they just
That would be amazing.
What if they just own this?
That would be
Oh,
amazing.
I think they should
do.
because the last pay-per-view we watched, we thought they should have let Judgment Day kind of
Mhm.
rule it, and they didn't. So if Priest walks out of there with the
Money in the
Bank briefcase, Finn walks out with the title.
Oh my god.
Dom walks out with a win over Cody.
Yes.
Rhea is being Rhea.
Obviously, she's not going to lose.
Coming out with a victory like that.
That would be
would make
amazing.
them look really strong. Now, any predictions on who Dom is bringing? Didn't they say they know a big guy to come and fight or whatever? Do you remember that?
No.
Yeah, they were trying to set up a match.
I'm
I think for
fast
SmackDown. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out.
Oh, for
who-
SmackDown. Yeah, but I don't.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to figure out who
might be
they're talking
somebody
about
on that card.
because I
Maybe
was trying
somebody
to
they're
see.
not using a lot. Maybe that Von Wagner guy or something.
Oh God, I hope not. Oh, please don't. Yeah.
Yeah, what's that? The Beverly son?
Yeah, he's one of the Beverly Brothers' son.
Yeah.
Like he's just no offense to Vaughn, but he is not ready for that kind of spotlight.
No, I agree.
So we'll. I don't know, but they did mention something about bringing a big guy in. I don't know who it would be.
A big name or a big guy?
A big guy, like the way they talked was like a
Okay.
big guy. So
Got it.
because Rhea got into Dom's ear and whispered, and
Trying to think.
told Dum Dum not to say anything yet. So they did.
I don't have anything off the top of my head. I would have to think on that.
Yeah, it
I'll
was.
probably text you the next day or two and go, I bet this is who it is.
And of course, in the main event, Cody got
Well, it's
the
tomorrow
got the
night,
win. Yeah, Cody got the win in the main event and everything. So
Sure, absolutely.
that was the show for the most part. And we're going into the go home show tomorrow, SmackDown, and I guess we'll learn some more stuff as to what.
Learn some stuff.
Yeah, we got a big show. Hopefully Tuesday. What's July 4th?
Tuesday.
Okay, so are we gonna do it Tuesday, or we want to push it for Thursday, or?
I don't know. Maybe we. I don't know.
We'll talk about it. We'll go through.
We'll call it out there.
My daughter's out of town, I believe, so I'll be okay.
Yeah, I'll say either Monday or Thursday because maybe
Sounds good.
Or maybe even Sunday if we just want to do talk about what happened at Money in the Bank.
I'm game for that too. So we'll keep you all posted for you listeners out there, because I think it's going to be a big. We've got a lot to talk about when it comes to that Money in the Bank, man. I think it's going to be a big show.
So predictions. What are your predictions for Money in the Bank? We'll go with you, with Johnny Spade.
Main ones I'm going with
Yeah.
And then what do we got? I'm gonna make this quick to keep you all bored, but I'm gonna go. I want to go Seth, even though I'd rather Finn. And then I'm gonna go with the Usos. So that's a big one. Obviously, I'm going to go with Cody on that, even though I'd like to see Dom Dom.
Yeah.
But that's going to be fun. And with the women's Money in the Bank, that was so up in the air. But I'm going to go with an underdog. I'm going to go with Io Sky.
You're going to go with Io. Ronnie, what's your...
Well, let's see. I want to go with, but I'm going to go with Logan Paul.
Logan makes sense. I mean, it's possible.
Yeah.
He does.
And although I think it's going to be Becky, I'm going to go with Trish. And then I'm just going to go with all of the Judgment Day because that would be awesome. And then Usos, yeah, for sure.
Usos. Yeah, Seth, so you think Finn's going to win?
No, but I'm still going to go for it.
I think it's a possibility. Like, I could see Finn pulling it off. I think Seth is going to keep it because it would make more sense, I think. I
want to say something real quick before you give yours, Jason. That Logan Paul winning, I heard something and it makes complete sense. If he does win, could you imagine leading up to when he cashes it in every time he does his YouTube with all these listeners and he's got it sitting behind him?
Yes.
And people that aren't fans or aren't able to see that, it does make sense.
Yes.
That's very much a very strong possibility because of that. Because he could bring in a whole different kind of people.
Exactly, 100.
When you think of your wrestling fans are going to watch Mr. Money in the Bank. Yes, that's the person.
Because your wrestling fans are going to watch it, and if they could draw more than just the fans that are already going to watch it,
100.
That's where the money's at. So it's not impossible by any means.
That is your Mr. Money in the Bank for sure.
I do think Seth Rollins is going to keep it because I think it just makes sense. I would love Finn to win, and I think there is I don't know what kind of confidence I have on it, but I think there's let's say a 20% possibility Finn walks out with it.
Man, that'd be cool.
I think the Usos are going to win because that makes sense to show just how strong they are as a team.
Correct.
I'm going to stick with Logan. No, I'm gonna say LA Knight just because I want to put that in the universe.
Yeah.
Logan Paul. Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
That's gonna. So I'm hoping for that. I kind of see Trish as well. I think Trish is kind of the somebody that really nobody's
got to retire going out.
I could see Trish winning it. Even
I think we all think Becky's going to cost her, but I think Trish winning could be a good story, and I think probably a better story than anybody else in that. Honestly,
yes.
So I wanted to pick somebody different, but you're probably right. I could see Trish winning.
I'm gonna stick with Trish, and I'm gonna go with Dom Dom. I think Cody gets a loss here, and I think.
You think so?
I think Judgment Night's got to
Brock Lesnar like 6 times, and he's gonna lose to Dom Dom.
Yeah,
I think you're right.
But that's the story, right? That's a story. that dirty Dom from the penitentiary somehow beats Cody Rhodes, who beat the Beast. That makes dirty Dom look like a badass, and he's not, and we all know he's not.
And he will carry that around forever.
Right. There'd be such a story there that I think could be fun to tell. So I'm gonna go with that, and of course Gunther, keeping, beating.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Riddle. I think Ronda and Baylor keep their titles. So those are my predictions. That's Smooth Johnny and Rockstar Ronnie Jonah's predictions. So so that's the show. That's the show. I think we made it through. there was a lot to talk about, but we made
did
it.
again.
We did. I got fresh ink. I was hurting today.
Oh,
So
that looks fresh.
you all
Yeah.
pulled it in. Hey, yeah, I still got one more session, but he
I was wondering why it was wet.
whew, it was a rough one today.
Yeah,
So I had to make it through. Y'all killed it.
we made it. Any last words?
No, yeah. Money in the Bank 2023. Yeah.
Ronnie Jonah.
Let's see. Rhea Ripley forever.
Yeah, that seems right. So there you go. Like everybody, watch the SmackDown Go Home show tomorrow, and then Saturday Money in the Bank. Remember, it's 3 p.m. because it's in London.
Mhm.
And then join us back here, and maybe we'll do it Sunday. Maybe we'll talk about what all happened at Money in the Bank. So thanks for watching the Heat Magnets. For Smooth Johnny Spade and Rockstar Ronnie Jonah, I'm the flamboyant one, Jason Crow, and we're out. See you next episode.
Bye.
Bye-bye.